And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
We don't give a fuck about no snowstorm. Lynch is at his house, I'm at my house, Big Herm's at his house. We all have beverages, except Lynch. You know how that goes. Say, welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
And already
That's right.
We got somebody dying.
That's right.
Oh, my Lord. My name is Chris Burns.
Excellent.
The bottom left corner. In the bottom left corner, you see my esteemed co-host,
Mr. Chris Lynch.
and, of course, the man with no hair, the producer extraordinaire, Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, there is going to be a little bit of audio lag, being that we're recording from 4 different locations tonight, because I'm throwing it to Herm to give our special guest a correct intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Pimpmaster of Alabama Avenue. We have with us tonight on the show, we have Brenton Herman. No relation.
No relation.
No relation. These kids have no parents that we know of.
No parents. There's no parents. There's
How you
just
doing,
children wandering the earth. How you doing, BL?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Excellent. Excellent. Good to have you on the show.
Glad to be here.
We do you have anybody you're pissed at this week?
Nope. I don't
No.
have an asshole of the week.
No asshole of the week.
No.
All
No
right.
asshole of the week.
All right, no asshole of the week. Must be a pretty good week, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, if we had an asshole
Had
of the
no school
week,
last week, so.
okay. If we had an asshole of the week, she died. So in case you get Lynch, are you gonna die?
No.
Please don't die.
Please don't die. If we did have an asshole of the week, she's dead now. Linda Kasabian from the Manson family died actually last month. The more I did the research, 73 years old. Her family kept it quiet until they could no longer keep it quiet anymore. I hope all these motherfuckers die at some point, which they're all going to at some point. But the sooner the better. I mean, Christ, it took Manson until 2017 to kick over.
Was it that? Has it been that long? Or that short? I thought
It
I
has
thought he
been
died
that
earlier.
long.
Wow.
No,
Crazy.
he was in like some really bad health for a while. And you know what? I'm just going to double check this because I seem to remember a documentary a couple of years ago about somebody claiming to be his son had a funeral for him, and they ended up streaming it on Amazon after a while.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like,
That's nice.
what kind of sick fuck would watch this? And there I am, the sick fuck watching it.
This is good. We should get the popcorn.
17 in Bakersfield, California. I can't eat popcorn, so I was there with those what do you call them, Twizzler bits, the nibs.
Oh,
whatever the fuck.
yes. Yes,
And
whatever those
plain-
little cherry
plain-ass
plastic
M&Ms.
things are.
Yeah.
Which they're not only good for eating, but if you melt them down, you have a plate that or one of those plastic bowls like I can just paste the side of it with your cherry nibs.
Very nice. Excellent.
I thought so.
there
So
we go. He's back.
we just lost BL.
No, he's back. He's back.
Okay. Bit of a lag, being that we're in 3 different locations due to the storm here in the Northeast. So if you get a little lag, work with us. Be cool. And as you're coming in the comment section, we will address you. Somehow
John's
I can't
already
get to
said
the
hello.
comment section now. Hello, John. What is up? My man from our town-ish, Connecticut. Here we go. The asshole would be me. John, you got to be a bigger asshole to make asshole of the week.
Yeah, just not like
It's not a bad thing to be
not
an
an
asshole.
in general. Not just an
Right,
in general asshole,
assholes
like
will
a
make it
very
around
specific asshole, like one particular asshole.
like a
specifically.
president, or
Re-
perhaps, yeah,
or Lynch, or
A very special rectum.
wrecked him. Damn
right.
near killed him.
Yep. Poker. I hardly know her. That didn't stop me before. Got me in trouble before, but we'll leave that out of it.
It did.
Oh,
It
so
did.
Herm, basically, this is going to be your show with
Yeah, I
BL
don't know how
as
this show. I'm not sure how this show's running. I'm not sure what we were discussing this week, but I just figured we would.
I don't think we had a grand plan.
We didn't have a grand plan. We just
Yeah,
knew that the boy was coming on, and we would go from there. What's going on in the world this week? Let's see. We're waiting right now. Right now, we're waiting to see what the hell SCOTUS is going to do.
Yep.
With the whole getting rid of everybody's student debt.
I still say it's the
I don't
dumbest idea.
I don't think.
How are you going to teach people? How are you going to teach people to be responsible? Go ahead, Lynch, please.
I don't think the Supreme Court's going to let it happen.
What, gonna allow it to go through? They're gonna put everybody's money back on the books.
Yeah, because that's just setting a bad precedent.
It does, and I mean, given the Supreme Court that we have,
very true, very very true.
Given the Supreme Court that we have, and its general shade of red, to a degree, I don't know as if that is going to remain in place either. I could totally see them.
With the red, I don't.
No, I don't have an issue with the red. What I'm saying is that politically, if you look at the Supreme Court right now, we've got a nice Republican, or
it's a 5-4 margin.
Right. It's you've got a little bit of a margin towards the right. The getting rid of the debt thing is definitely a left thing. I don't know. I'd be interested to see how that plays out, given the political layout of the Supreme Court justices.
Are we there?
We are. You're there. Somebody's there.
I got you now. Yeah.
One man alone. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to say that the Supreme Court, regardless of its makeup, sees how kind of screwy and that course of action is, but we'll see.
The thing that bothers me the most is I think it was Lynch who said it sets a bad precedent because, you take out these loans, you sign this paperwork. Are they predatory? When it was the Roe versus Wade, and we touched a little bit about this subject. It sets a bad precedent for someone like, say, Brenton over here. You got a loan.
You are bouncing in and out, my friend.
I heard about half of that.
There he goes. He'll be back.
Bye. See you real soon.
Yeah, I have to agree. But we'll see what comes up. What do you think, Brenton? What do you think what do you think they should do? What do you think about the whole forgiving the student debt thing? I mean, do you think it's the right thing to do? Do you think?
No.
No?
I feel like the people that signed those papers, they knew what they were getting into, and the people that want to give the relief are the people where it's beneficial to the person. Like
No, I can understand that. I mean, like those people
everyone
went
knew
out
what
and
they were
said,
getting into.
right. It's not like right. It's not like they were predatory and nobody knew what they were signing up for. You know,
Right.
like I
They knew
believe they knew
exactly
what
what
they
they were
were.
doing, and now they just want the money.
Right, and now because it's not working out the way that in the way that they had hoped their plan would work, now the world is crap, and now it's too much. But it wasn't too much when you were signing up for it, and
Right.
you were willing to vouch and to say you would repay it. But all of a sudden, after you've benefited from the college education, you all of a sudden now, oh, it wasn't worth it. Well, you've already got your education, so you're on the hook. How do you just, you can't go to a restaurant and eat the meal and then, tell them it sucks.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's
and
just not how it
so
works. You ate it and then
right.
said something. So, heard on my way back, he says. All right, he'll be back. But that's yeah, I'm hoping the Supreme Court looks around and takes a peek and decides that that's kind of not
the best
exactly how
idea.
we're supposed to do it. I mean, we did do it when we did the whole the well, we had the automotive bailout, which would be the same circumstance that we're dealing with now. Everybody except
I
Ford.
agree with what Brenton said.
Oh, there's Amber. Amber's back. What's up, Amber?
And it's also like I do agree the world has changed and like
The fuck?
economically we're not in the right spot, but it's just everyone knows what you're signing up for, and there's other options for people who don't want to be coming out with a ton of money, owing a ton of money.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the world didn't change that much in the 4 or 5 years that you were in college. It didn't go that crazy, that bad, that fast.
Right.
Um,
Well, and
you
you
know, it
and I went to a business thing for school. Like it was a business conference, and the people that are coming out of school, the average like pay out of college is 60K a year. And I feel like, if you got the right job and you really worked hard and you did what you should have done and got your money's worth out of your education, you should be getting a job to be able to pay the amount back or pay your student loan debt back.
right, and I understand that not all of the jobs are there, but again, once again, that comes down to they had a plan and they planned for an unknown future, and the future did what futures do, and that's change the fuck up on you. And now, because the future's changed, and they're not going to be able to, hold to the course of action they were planning to go through life on. All of a sudden, somebody needs to bail them out. Well, you know what? Nobody's been helping my ass out for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
When I get into some shit,
You
it's
handle it.
me or it's me, and it is pretty much is for the same for the both of you guys, as far as I know.
Quick question: did anything I said about the student loan repeal go through?
No, go for it again.
I heard up to the part where you said it's gonna suck for people like me.
Well, yeah, and it does because it sets a bad precedent for people your age, not necessarily you. I've talked to you on a number of occasions. You got a good head on your shoulders. What this does is basically tell these people you took out these loans that you're expected to pay back. Are they a bit predatory? We've discussed this. Yes, they are. But you can't. There's no mortgage forgiveness. There's no car payment forgiveness. What it all comes down to is, when I can't pay it back. Okay, let's take it away. And you look at, let's say, and I don't like drawing political lines, but I will. The Democrats say, let's get rid of it. Yay! Look what they did for me. And you vote for these idiots, and they keep running this country into the fucking ground. And it also takes away from the responsibility of the person who takes this loan. Now they don't have to pay it back. So what does that do going forward? Are you going to be able to do that with your mortgage in 15 years, Bretton?
Well, I hope not.
Exactly. I just
Yeah.
think it's a bad precedent. However, I will say that a guy like Derek the Undertaker, our friend, who took out loans, is paying them back, is working his ass off, embalming people, burying people, cremating people. Yes, I have sick fucking friends. I'm wearing
Oh yeah, I
his
remember.
We
college.
kills him. We kills him. He chills him.
That's right. Or he grills them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know.
Ooh.
My goal, Brenton, is when I die to shove a bag of microwave popcorn up my ass. So when he cremates me, it just starts to explode. Look, he's paying them back, okay? And he saw this coming and he heard what I had to say about it. He goes, "Do you hate me? I mean, what do you, if I could get my student loans taken care of?" I'm like, "No, you're paying them back. You're busting your ass. It's not you that I worry about. It's these
It's the
freeloading
people that
bums."
haven't even tried, who they signed the papers and think that now they should just get the money out of here when you knew what you were signing up for. And if you were doing what you should have done with your education, you would be able to pay them back.
Exactly.
No, very,
And
very good point. And you know what? This brings me to a discussion I had with my wife the other day. Speaking of college degrees, she brought up a pretty good point. Um, th- she's a recruiter for what she does for work now, and she looks at all these resumes with master's degree in this or master's degree in that, but zero on the job experience.
Right.
So would you rather spend $150,000 a year salary on somebody who on paper looks good, or somebody who dropped out of high school, went to trade school, and has been on the job for 20 years?
well, I guess
Which
that,
got,
see, my question, and if you don't mind, Brenton, I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on you, but it depends on what kind of job you're going for. If I'm looking for a mechanic, I want to see what the mechanic can do. I've seen more shade tree mechanics that can work their way around an engine a hell of a lot better than a whole bunch of guys who went to ITT Tech. Conversely, you see a lot of the guys, and you can see behind me, guys. I'm in the Speedway Review studio here. You know, a lot of those guys came up as shade tree mechanics, but now the teams are looking for something a little extra. So they started the NASCAR Institute of Technology, where they place you with a team right out the door. It may not be a big team, but at least you're getting your feet wet doing the job. I get that. And if you're using your degree, and I when I say degree, stop. I'm going to really piss somebody off. A liberal arts degree is still a degree. But what the fuck are you going to do with a liberal arts degree? Seriously? Come on now.
well, quite
Well,
honestly, Chris, all that college diploma shows that you're capable of learning.
Well, that and you did something for 4 years.
well, I was just going to
showed
say
up on
it shows
time.
that you can show up on time every day when you're fucking supposed to for 4 years so you to accomplish something. And now don't get me wrong, as an employer, that is an excellent trait to have in a possible employee.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the only thing you look at.
Correct, because I would take, and I'll throw a couple names out here. I know a guy that went to ITT Tech. Don't want to say his name. Might be a listener of the show, and I don't want to piss him off. They went to ITT Tech and is currently he's not even doing what he went to school for, but he's doing well for himself. But I would take a shade tree mechanic like Tim Robichaud and throw him on a NASCAR team tomorrow.
Yeah, because they have the ability to improvise.
Mm-hmm. And when you look at a field like auto racing, even your local, what do you call it there? Your local car shop, your garage or whatever. I want the guy that can get it done correctly but quickly. The longer my car stays there, the more I have to pay there, and I'm not going to be happy with it. When I take it to, I'll use Herm as an example. Back in the day, I used to wrench my cars. I could take it to the shop and leave it there for 2 days, or I could be at Herm's house with a 30 rack, and in 2 hours, my shit's right as rain.
True. Very
And
true.
he's got no more of a degree than I have.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem is thinking that you're going to go and get whatever your degree is, and that you're going to come out. Oh, excuse me.
Are we
That you're
boring you,
gonna-
Herm?
No, that you're going to come out of college and you're going to be this wet behind the ears, just out of the academy, don't know anything but from a book type person, you don't get the sweet spot job that way. You got to do a little shit work, man.
Oh yeah, and I've heard people say, when they get their degree and they come out and they're 2 years out and they're working in their actual field, I should be higher and I should be making six figures by now. No. Yeah, the degree is helpful, but let's go with a law degree. You get the law degree, you still have to pass the bar. You pass the bar, you get a job. You're not going to start as senior partner.
You're starting as you're starting as a fucking associate lawyer, and you're handling stacks of bullshit contracts.
Right.
Or
you're the one arguing the case. Is a teddy bear a person in Massachusetts court?
Right. You're not you're not handling O.J. Simpson trials.
No, you're handling Ted.
Yeah. So you got to start somewhere, and that's the problem. Is a lot of the kids these days think that they're supposed to start at the top.
No, and that's something that, no offense to Brenton and your age range, but we, Gen X, most of us, not the ones sitting here, have failed this generation because
if I could say something.
Go, please.
I feel like no offense, Dad, but my parents are a little older than most parents. Most of my friends or people I know, parents are like still in their 30s or millennials, which were
those
a different
parents
generation.
Are
not the best, but I feel like my parents are a little older. I know how to actually work. I mean, I was 13. I worked my summer, and I mean, I feel like it was like.
Yeah, I mean, Brenton wanted to move out of the house at 3. And that's not a lie. At 3, he wanted to move out. He was like, I can live on my own. I'm fine. I don't need you guys. Literally, these are his words, not mine. At 3, he was ready to move out. He figured at 3 he could do it on his own.
I feel like I'm willing to put in some work. And I feel like that's because the way my family has been. Like, I mean, when my grandparents lived in Maine, my mom tells me stories about her putting up horsehair plaster on the wall and like having to go grocery shopping and do all this extra stuff. And like, people my age are just given everything. I'm not given everything. I buy whatever I want. If I want something, I buy it. But it also gives myself like a sense of like ownership and pride because like, I bought that or whatever. And kids just aren't like that. And I know someone who has
my daughter is kind of rigged up in that too.
In what?
In the what? The gimme money?
Go ahead, Brenton. I'm sorry.
I know someone who went to a trade school, like high school. So right as soon as he graduated high school, he started to work at EB, and he got out of high school at probably 18, like regular, and then he's 25, making as much as, or he's 26 now, making nearly as much as his dad, is like $36 an hour, and like his sister is in $100,000 worth of student loan debt and can't hold a job because she put on her resume too much, and I'm sure she's liberal too, so I'm sure she wants this relief. But someone like the guy I was speaking of who makes $70,000 a year, $70,000 a year, versus his sister who is in $100,000 of student loan debt and can't hold a job. It just shows that you don't need a degree to make a lot of money.
No, you don't. But if you choose a specialized degree, let's just say, because it's on my mind right now, medicine. You want to go to medical school. You take the original 4-year course. Then you have another 8 years on top of it. So by the time you finish, you're in your early 30s.
Yep.
And again, you don't start out as the, lead thoracic surgeon doing heart surgery on your first day. You get the shit jobs. You start in the ER. You move. You certainly work in your specialty, or if you have a private practice, that's good too.
Right. Well, the thing with medicine is you're doing all of that while you're getting your doctorate. Like you start out as a doctor, but technically you're not. You're an intern, and but you're doing all of that. So by the time you actually are a doctor, you've actually been doing it for 3-4 years.
Right. And the one thing that drives me nuts about, again, I got to go from, I'm just going to use 1990 as the cutoff. Kids born from 1990 till today, most of them anyway, have this belief that I just get out of college and there I am, or I could be a doctor. I don't need to go to school. And it's the old line. My brother went to school for 8 years, took out $455,000 in federally funded student loans that he's currently paying back at a rate of 20% on the dollar, just so he can call himself Dr. Cooper. So it's all in the way you look at it. And I don't know. And Brenton, you can help out because again, you're a young guy. You're in this world right now around these people. Is it really that bad with the entitlement with people you know?
Well, the people that I know, I do have to say, like, I go to a really great high school. It's like we're good. We're the best out of a lot. We're the best of a lot of things, and you know, the entitlement there just because of what mommy or daddy does for a living, or where mommy and daddy went to. This kid, I know one kid in particular, like kids where they flaunt around their money, they think they're entitled to other things because of whatever, and like I I get mind blown sometimes of the way people think. Like there was a kid at my table who I'm friends with. Like he was upset because his dad didn't buy him a boat for his birthday,
Oh, cry me a river.
and because
Should
he
be so
asked his
fucking
dad
lucky.
for, and you know what? It's like just where he comes from. Like I don't even know what his parents do. I think his mom's a nurse, and like dad does something great, but like
They work
they
for the
have one
cartel.
The drug mules.
like
Is his
he
last
has
name
a regular
Montana?
no.
Okay.
He has two houses. I mean, like, and he wanted a boat for his lake house, and it was just like, oh my god, like you're so stuck up. Like, are you kidding me? And then there's another kid who's like, just flaunts around everything, like, oh, I've got the newest piece of technology, or oh, I've got, he had an Apple Watch, so he's flaunts around his Apple Watch. Like, I have an Apple Watch too, it's right there, but I bought mine. I worked a whole summer. I fucking redid a floor for a house, a gym, and I bought myself an Apple Watch. It's not like
My
I was
man.
handed an Apple Watch. I worked
My
two
man.
summers with Jim, and then I didn't do anything for one summer, and then I got a job, and for a summer I worked a real job, so I've got money. But kids my age, they don't know what it's like to work a job. Kids don't even know what it's like to iron their own clothes. Like I've got to
Oh
iron.
yeah.
I don't have an iron, but I steam my own
Me either. I
clothes
have a wife.
for school.
Don't.
Wow. I heard that out
I,
loud.
s- I steam my own clothes. So, I steam my own clothes, and these kids are talking about how mommy has to iron my clothes for me. Like, the entitlement is crazy, especially at the place I'm situated at.
Well, we do send you to a school where the most of the
It's
people that go to
prestigious.
that school make
Drug
really really disgusting amounts of money. That makes the money that
Yeah.
I look at look like shit.
Mhm.
But
We call that fuck you money here on Dysfunction Junction.
yeah, they've just got the people there. Most
But
it's
that also
private
makes me feel
school,
like I
and
never want to make that much money, because if I'm gonna turn into them, like, am I gonna make
no, but
over
that's the
six
whole thing.
figures and
But
turn
that's the
into
whole
them?
thing is the start that you've had is a good grounding unit.
And I think
Right, I
that
don't
You
think-
when
can
I
you
was
can you
little,
can make a lot of money and you can be an asshole, but you'll never be that asshole.
Right.
You
And
know?
I can see, and knowing who your parents are, Brenton, I don't think if you made, say $1 million a year, and I'm lowballing because I know you got the skills, kid, you're not going to buy a swimming pool and fill it full of whiskey like I would. But, I'm trailer trash, dude. So I would do some silly shit like that. Knowing you would invest half and put a quarter of it into this bond and take a quarter and go, to the Mediterranean and then come back and go, my other, of this million, I took 750,000 of it and I invested it. I took a quarter of a million. I went off on to my villa in the south of France. Now I'm going to let
Right.
that money work for me. Whereas an idiot like me, I'd buy a car full of peanut M&Ms.
There's your penis.
yeah. And I feel like I
Yes,
also
thank you.
know how to respect others who like don't have a degree or work harder because both of my parents come from trades. Like my mom cuts hair and my father's a cook or a chef. My dad's a chef. So, I know how to tip well, and like people recognize when you know how to tip well. And like it's like I think it's also like a level of respect for others.
Right.
No, it definitely is because you got to think about it. You've been indoctrinated since about 8th grade about college. They start very subtly, and then as every grade goes on, it's just what college you want to go to. What are you thinking of doing? Are you going to trade school? Are you not going to college? So they're constantly in your ear. And by the time you get through college, those 4 to 6 years you spent going to college, they've been hammering in your head. Oh, this is your ticket. This is your ticket to money. When it's not, the paper's only worth about $1.25 between the ink and the paper. But it's not a guarantee that you're going to make $150,000 right out the chute. My wife actually
Well, like
said
I
that
said earlier,
she would rather hire somebody with the experience first. Give that guy a crack. The people she's looking at have zero, not just in their field, zero jobs on their resume. Zero. And
They've never worked. They
year.
went to college. Now they're coming out of college and they have no work experience at all. You can't even call anybody and see if they know how to show the fuck up.
Mhm.
Exactly.
well, and the average, like I said earlier, and you went on, you had disconnected, but the average making out of college is only 60K. And I'm saying only because like some college degrees you'd be making well over 60K a year, but you got to start somewhere. It's
Right.
not like you're gonna like you guys said, come out of the chute and be lead, whatever,
Yeah.
be cardiothoracic
Right.
surgeon, or be
the
like attorney general.
I like to liken the college kid coming out and wanting to take on the world. There's two different kinds. There's the go-getter and the why don't I have it already. I liken it to sports a lot. When you're a rookie and you get called up, I don't care what team you play for. I really don't give a shit, but you're not going to be the star the day you walk in the door. There are 24 other hungry assholes who are getting paid, some less than you, some more than you. You got to put your skills to work. You got to show them what you're made of, and then you start making the bucks. Not when you walk through the door. That's why, in a lot of these cases where especially now where kids are just like, well, I'm just going to go to college, and when I get out, I'm going to get a huge job. And no, dickhead, that's not how it works.
No,
Not
you're
you,
gonna
Brenton. I'm
right.
talking
You're
about
gonna
young
get
people
you're
in
gonna get
general.
a relatively entry level job in that field,
Mhm.
and then work towards your goal.
Right. You're
Well,
not
in
going to
any
be
job, you still have to work up in everything. You still have to work up. You always start somewhere. Like
Right,
even in
unless-
summer,
right,
unless you're
I was doing
related.
it a little. Right, unless you have good relations, like a dad someone who just wants to take over daddy's company or something. But like this summer, I was doing sales for one of my mom's best friends, and obviously I started out, my first paycheck was less than $100, and I was not making my bonus, because if you sell amount of clothes, you get a bonus. But I was making just my hourly rate, and then I started to get comfortable, and I had to work up, and then I started getting my bonus every day, and like sometimes I would get my second bonus a day too. So no matter where you're at, you got to work up. It's not like you're going to come out and you're going to be perfect making your bonus or whatever.
Sure.
the
And
day of.
you could say the same thing about the three of us, where I'm good at what I do. I know Lynch is good at what he does. Everybody knows Herm is good at the chef in business. But if Herm goes to a 5-star restaurant in New York City, he's not coming in hot. He's coming in and he's going to be maybe 3rd or 4th on the totem pole, but watch him. That's what I would say. Watch him. He's going to work his ass off and move up to where these other people have to work to his level rather than what he does, which all of us do. I think we all have the same work ethic. I go to my job, I bust my ass. No one can do what I do.
Well, you get out of it what you put into it.
Exactly.
I mean, and with Brenton's case, with the sales, I'm sure once you got more comfortable, you were like, it's second nature. I can do this with my eyes closed. So that, of course,
one day
I
had all 4 rooms. You only have 4 rooms. It's 2 small places. Each place has 2 rooms. I had all 4 rooms. They were all mine.
Yeah.
Like full of people that were trying on clothes.
Yeah. So,
Dude,
I mean,
you are pimp status deluxe. That's all I'm saying.
But it's good that you find this out. You work towards this now, than try to find it out in 10, 15 years when you're like some of your compadres will
Yeah.
after college, because they're going to be so lost in this world, so lost.
Yeah.
And
And I
not
do
to
I
not
do want to
to
go to
well,
college,
please,
but
please. Well, not to lick your ass, BL, but I know your parents and I know their work ethic. So that has been imparted upon you, and
mhm,
you're going to be fine no matter where you go. You don't have this entitlement. Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? I mean, give me a second to reach inside your mind here, but to you, it's like, okay, I'm new here. I just got hired at, I don't know, Louis Vuitton. I'm going to outwork all you motherfuckers. And before you know it, you're answering to me.
mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
his attitude is how hard do I have to work to get to where you're at?
Right.
Where do
And
you?
it's refreshing to hear that from a young person.
It's very refreshing, because that was always my answer in an interview. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I said
In
I
your
see you
chair.
in your chair doing the same process.
I spent a couple days with my kid this weekend in Vermont, and I watched her. She's changed. I want to be an artist. I want to be this. I want to be that. She's set her mind now on cosmetology. She's 15 years old, and she's a girl. What is a woman? She knows what a woman is, and she's rocking it. So before I leave on Sunday morning, she sets my niece Cami and my number one mother-in-law Karen down, and she's getting ready to do nails, and I'm just watching, and I see the time, and she's 15. She's the time and the thing she's doing and making everything right. I'm like, dude, this kid's gonna do it. You send her to Paul Mitchell tomorrow, and she's gonna rock shit.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
from there, who knows? She could like cutting hair too.
Maybe,
That
yeah,
is
but
crazy now, though. The cosmetology right now is crazy.
well, yeah. I
But
mean, every two-bit hooker and highfalutin uh, Real Housewife of Atlanta is going to get these special nails with the gems on it. Only $2 more. You look so pretty. Why you no have boyfriend? I know
no,
I'm
it's
general. I'm being racist right now.
yeah,
Just
Yeah.
severely racist.
a little bit. It's a little
Okay,
nugget
okay, wait.
of racism
Time
there.
out. Emma said something that knocked me on my ass. She goes, "You do realize if I get a job in a quote unquote regular nail salon, I can do anything I want. But if I get a job in a Chinese nail salon, I'll be doing pedicures only because only the Chinese ladies get to touch the hands."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, God damn, Em. Come on, that's some racist shit. She goes, "You ever been in a nail salon?" I'm like, no. I've not,
Take a step.
because
Take a
what is
step
a
in.
man? Yeah,
Well, I've been in a nail salon.
I bet you have. I'm not saying
Well,
that
my
to be
mom
rude.
worked in a nail
Your mom's a
salon.
I was going to say
hairdresser.
you pretty much grew up in one.
Right. I wasn't being a schmuck. I know who your mom is. She was never really nice to me, but she is a nice lady. I do. Hi, Tammy, wherever you are.
Oh, she's in the other room. I told her I'm doing this.
Oh, she should watch. Have a good time. Support her boy.
But yeah,
I'll
he
show it
pretty
to
much
her
grew up
after.
in one.
Okay, so I have a
Yeah.
question in regard, again, having you here, young person. Oh, this one's going to hurt because I was listening to a lot of stuff today about racism. And
Oh,
as a young person, I'm sure you're fed the America is intrinsically racist bullshit day in and day
no.
out. I want to hear a young person's thought on this.
Okay. Whew, where do I begin?
The beginning is usually the best
The
part.
beginning is usually a good start.
Thank you, Herm.
So, I was talking to a teacher, and I've always liked had an interest in business, and I heard from a teacher that in Boston they just did this new thing, or maybe it's been a new thing, but like you can't own a business unless you like a white person can't own a business. There has to be a woman or Hispanic or black. Like you have to have someone of a minority or of color or of something. And to me, that's the most racist thing.
I'm gonna have to hear more on that.
Yeah, I want to.
There's
I need a
definitely
link or
some
two,
missing
yeah.
information, but it could be for business loans.
Oh, there you go.
Could be for business loans. It is much
It was for
easier
business
for
loans.
marginalized people of any kind to get to business loans. They're really looking to hand money out to non-whites. right now as much as it's the truth.
I need a big piece
I
of
just,
paper. Here we go.
I just feel um, like I feel like the things that are being like pressed upon now, like I don't know. I just feel like the things that they feed me about racism aren't true. Like they're twisted or like it's opposite of what they say. Because they say that like, black on white, like police oppression and like years of oppression and then police brutality, like is the worst thing, but the black people only create or make up 13% of the US population, but
There's
40% of them are in jail.
there's
Right.
one statistic. Go ahead, please, Lynch.
61% of such a small population commit crime. 41%
Mhm.
end up in jail,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
like Brenton just said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one thing that drives me nuts is, and I got to know because again, I'm having fun talking to you right now, and we're not burning anything,
Glad.
so that's a good thing. But on the notion of burning things, when there's these fiery but mostly peaceful protests, or something bad happens, everybody tends to look at, well, if so and so hadn't gotten killed, we wouldn't have burned down our town. The fuck, it's not an excuse. And secondly, they ignore. And I'm asking you because you're in school and you probably hear a lot about this in a current events type of way. When you learn about, say, a George Floyd, or I can't remember his name from Nashville recently, Herm, help me out with this.
Tyree Nichols?
Tyree Nichols,
Tyree.
thank you. What nobody talks about when it goes into a school setting, because I did ask my daughter how they teach her in Vermont, and ooh, was I angry with the answer. Did they happen to mention what they were doing at the time of their arrest, or do they just mention, hey, George Floyd got killed, we need to canonize this guy and put him on the saint list?
So last year at my school, we had this teacher. I had current events. It was literally current events, and we just took notes and talked about what was going on. And I took it for 2 years, so it was during the time of George Floyd. And I feel like, at my school that I'm at now, where they're definitely a more Republican school, and the public school last year was much more Democratic. So we don't really talk about issues like this now at my school. It's just like goes like we don't. It's not even discussed because there are those people who will argue that George Floyd wasn't like a wanted criminal, or that he was like
not at the time. No, that's correct.
Like, and things like that. So they just don't.
I mean,
they don't talk about it. But during current events, it was always telling us that it
right,
was terrible what the police were doing.
I think we can all agree, and we've said it before right here on this show. We've said it privately, publicly, whatever. George Floyd didn't have to die that day. We all agree on this. That was some cops being assholes and overstepping their bounds. What we cannot forget is that George Floyd was in the commission of a federal offense, and he was also hopped up on fentanyl. I'm not saying that's a reason for him to die. Don't take me the wrong way. I know there are a lot of, far left, crazy. Look, I like leftists. I don't like far left, crazy leftists. There are people that would take what I just said out of context and say, oh my God, he thinks George Floyd should have been. No, stop it. What I'm saying is you can't ignore what happened up to and including the moment of. And if you do, you're not being honest.
Well, you're not painted the proper narrative.
Correct.
Because that's not what the media wants you to see, or some media outlets don't want you to see.
No, be a good little bitch and take what we feed you.
Right, and it's sad. It's very sad that Brenton's generation is being fed news in that way. I'm gonna hit play. When I want to tell the side of the story I can spin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna show that 45 minutes leading up to, because that makes me look bad.
Right, and you could say the same thing. Like
then you'd be Fox News.
Pretty close. All TV media outlets are trash. Just don't watch TV.
Dude, I don't know. Has anybody else watched News Nation?
I've not.
do.
You have to hook me
I
up.
do.
I gotta be honest. I do. Since I've moved out here, we were watching News Nation back home. We've got really good news here. Very right down the middle. Very Walter
good.
Cronkite.
Ooh.
It was a gunman today fired shots at a club. It's not a black gunman fired shots at a something club type thing. Very good. But News Nation is a channel out there on some of the streaming services, and they pretty much run a right down the middle national stuff. I didn't really like him for a while, but I got to be honest. What's his name? Chris Cuomo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a hell of a reporter.
He's on there. He's very big on the station, and they run pretty much right down the center, and it's not very biased at all.
And he likes titties. That's why he got fired from his last job. But doesn't make him a
bad person.
Speaking of titties, I gotta ask, Brenton. I know you go to a Catholic school, correct?
Oh yeah,
he does.
So
he does.
Brenton, do you see how you made your voice come out of his mouth? Isn't that like you're like Jeff Dunham but better looking?
It's amazing.
It is. It's fucking awesome. I gotta ask you, going to a Catholic school, what is the overall feeling as a young person, how your school and or people in your school are dealing with the transgenderism issue that's going on?
I wouldn't know. Like the school, we don't really touch
it's a
upon
Catholic
that.
school that
Really
doesn't
care.
that actual situation doesn't actually exist in their world.
You know,
I
whenever
beg
it's
to
brought up,
differ, but I'll give my example after. Go ahead,
whenever
Brenton.
it's brought up, I guess it's just like, you know, the Catholic Church doesn't support it, so we don't discuss it at school. But I don't know. I don't know what your guys' opinion is. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, well, most of us have no issue with I don't have an issue with trans people specifically.
Nope.
I just don't think you get to choose whatever you want to be, and now everybody in the world has to believe that you're that. Is kind of what I believe. I mean, if I walked around, because because you know, if I walk around and thinking I'm a pony, now I'm a fucking furry, so it's all right. So, kind of the same thing.
Oh no, he's got a furry story.
You've got a furry story? Oh, sweet Jesus! Do tell.
We were gonna play NK, and I guess some kids at NK like to identify as cats. So we were gonna bring kitty litter.
Like no killing?
North Kingstown.
Oh, okay, that makes sense now.
What were you playing?
You know, it was just football. Like we were playing football.
All right.
But the kids were gonna bring, and it was at North Kingstown Field. Kids were gonna bring kitty litter and litter boxes, and we're just gonna hold it up for everybody because the kids identify as cats and they need their own restrooms at the school.
Nope.
What?
That's a mental fucking illness.
They had to make a special announcement at school that Hendricken men don't act like that at football fields and stuff.
Oh, that's right. That's the name of your school, Heineken, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it's like the number 2. It's like the number 3 fucking private high school in the country.
It's the number 2 Catholic high school.
They have all kinds of attitudes and ways that you are supposed to think there. Yes, sir.
Look, and look, Herm and myself and Lynch, we're all about free thought, and I know that sometimes that's not smiled upon at a Catholic school. However, I like the fact...
I don't go there for the Catholic education, I can tell you that.
So you're not a practicing Catholic?
Not independently, only when I'm forced to for school.
I was going to say only for the purposes of school.
Understood.
Like, of course I pray, and like I do during prayer I pray, and like I know, like during mass I respect all their wishes, but I feel like I come from.
He jerks off quietly.
I feel like
Hey, as a 50-year jerker, there's no way to jerk it quietly.
And I feel Okay?
We got him.
Got
Come
him.
on, Brenton. Talk to me. Talk to me,
Anyway,
man. Talk to me.
I feel like I've come from such a diverse spiritual background, with my mom being something, and then she switched over to Roman Catholic, and then my dad's an atheist.
Well, yeah, she's
So-
Roman Catholic now, and she was
something,
like
a
Christian,
Protestant or whatever.
born
Christian,
again.
Christian.
She was
Yeah.
they were born again when she was little.
Okay.
And then Jim is a Protestant, so I feel like, I don't know, I don't appreciate organized religion, which is obviously the school I go to, because I feel like it's nice to see the different sides of everyone's like thinking processes and see what I believe. And because I don't believe in some of the things that the Catholic Church believes in the school I go to, I don't believe some of the things there. And I may put up an argument during theology, say, well, tell me the reason behind this, or, what's the reason behind this? And some of the things
I'd
seem
be a
far-fetched.
dick in that class.
You are a
Some of the
dick
things-
anywhere you go.
I would
Knock
be
it
a
off.
dick in that class.
I got a
Some of the
question
things
now.
are far-fetched.
Brenton, continue, please.
That was it. I feel like some of the things are far-fetched, but I feel like I don't believe everything that my school says, but I obviously believe a portion, and like I've been given enough background, like, of all my parents and people that I surround myself with have different religious beliefs and backgrounds, so I get to
Okay.
I appreciate it.
I have two questions.
Okay.
First one, because you've piqued my interest, can you name one thing that you don't agree with or that you are questioning when you're talking about, you just said, I question this, I'm in theology, I say, give me the reason behind this. Give me an example.
If Adam and Eve were white, how are there black people and Asian people?
My man.
There's one,
My
and then
man.
the other one was that, this is Christian, but how we're all born with original sin. I don't believe we're all born with original sin.
Okay.
All right, Annie Lennox.
All right, second question, and I know this is going to go up at least one person's ass. Brent, I got to ask you, just nobody else is here. It's just you and me.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, Herm.
Lies.
And I'm going to phrase this as nicely as possible.
Okay.
In your mind and in your opinion, does God exist? And the silence is deafening. You're killing me right now.
I can hear the
Yes.
hamster.
Okay.
I do believe it, but I don't believe some aspects of, I don't believe it. I don't believe all of it.
Understood. And that's the beauty of, and Herm and I have had this discussion. He doesn't mess with me about my religion, and I certainly try not to fuck with him about, his lack of, if you will. He is spiritual without being religious.
And I feel like him and like Dad, I feel like Dad and my brother like are both more spiritual than they come off to be. Like, because my brother said, "Oh, I don't like Catholic, or I don't like practicing religion, or blah blah blah." blah. But he, his bio, he has a Bible verse, and he wants a tattoo of a Bible verse.
Mhm.
So that obviously speaks loudly.
And you can be spiritual and you can read the Bible and you can say, I like this, I don't like this. You can, make your choices as you go along. It's the beauty of free will. But when I asked the question to you, you gave an answer, which is beautiful. And I've asked other people the same question. Does God exist?
And they say, "I don't know."
And it's I don't know, or no, or this. And so the follow-up question to them is always, can you prove he doesn't exist? Now, a logical person would go through and say,
But someone
well,
could also say, "Why do you believe that he exists? Where's the evidence that he exists?" But then people
Well,
would just
that's
respond
the-
with that. That's what faith is.
that's the logical fallacy in the argument, is that if you ask someone, can you prove to me, and that's why they call it faith. Again, I think we're all in agreement. If you
Right.
ask someone, can you prove to me God doesn't exist? The idiots will answer, can you prove he does? It's a logical fallacy. You're answering a question with a question. You answer my
Mhm.
question, I'll answer yours. And my answer is always the same. It's why it's called faith. I've seen more
Right.
evidence to the positive than to the negative. But you know what? Not everybody believes the same thing. And you've got your head on right, kid. Man, this is fun. Can we have him back next week?
Yeah, sure. We can have him back on a regular basis.
He could be like a monthly contributor. Oh, you know where Brenton would be fun? Am I the asshole?
He would. He would also.
I was just watching an episode that had that in there.
The Am I the Asshole?
Yeah.
And Herm was the asshole in every fucking one.
All the time.
He steps on everybody's lines. He
All the time.
changes the rules.
I would love
What
to be on
rules?
more often.
There's no such-
this is my first time, but I'm having fun. So
Rules
Good,
are a
and-
human. Rules are a human construct.
Oh, listen to you. Stop it.
It's like
yeah, if
Jesus.
you ever want me on,
Rules and
It's like-
Jesus are a human
It's like
construct.
Jesus was a man.
you know what I
He
mean?
got
It's
a
like
beard.
Jesus. I can take what I want about your rules and the part that I like and say fuck the rest. You know, it's like
Oh, my
religion.
God. Which brings me to a question for the panel. What is a Herman?
not me.
Well, yeah. Although, it does say so on your birth certificate, kid.
Yeah. And on your birth certificate, it says, "I made you." So there you go.
At least as far as he knows.
No, I'm adopted.
As good looking as I can't say that because then your
How
mother
can you
will
say
try to
that?
kill
I
me.
mean, look, I got three sons with two different women, and they're all blonde haired and blue eyed. Apparently, I only know how to make one model.
Yeah, the Aryan Nation. Nice job,
I'm just
Hitler.
gonna say I am sponsoring Hitler's wet dream team right there. There it is.
Wow.
Welcome
Ladies
to the Aryan Nation. I'm Herm. We'll get you a child right away.
Ladies and gentlemen, our producer, Heinrich Himmler.
You park the car over there.
Oh,
Over
and
there.
of course, my co-host David Duke. Jesus, you guys don't disappoint ever.
We park over there.
Over there.
Wow.
No parking over there.
Oh my lord, Brenton.
But we love Jews. That's the difference. We love the Jews here.
Oh,
we
yeah,
love the
I do.
Jews.
I love everybody except Canadians.
You know, what was that? I was thinking about listening to somebody, like, the whole thing with Germany was like after World War II or after World War I, like Germany was like screwed and there was a problem with money. You know what I mean? Germany didn't have any money. And like they were having real hard problems with their country's finances. It's kind of sad that there wasn't a group of people in that country that are really good with fucking money that maybe could have helped Germany out with that situation.
I can name that tune in 2 notes.
What the fuck? Oh, we have no money. Kill the Jews. What do you do? They're gonna they're gonna help you make money.
Hey, Silverstein can hook us up. He can find the loopholes. No,
Nine!
kills them all.
That's what I'm saying. It's too bad there wasn't a group of people that were really good with money in that country.
Oh, it's racist to say that now. You can't say that the Jews are
course
good with
it is.
money anymore.
Yes, you can, because they are.
Well, they are. Yes, it's a fact. I like fact.
But I feel that if you talk, it's not, because I appreciate it, and if I know that somebody is better at something, now I'm not saying all Jews in general, but I'm saying there are a lot of Jewish people that are good with money and into the money thing. All right, just their thing. They were counting things for a long time. 7 days, how many nights, all sorts of things.
8
all right,
candles.
That's what I'm saying. 8 candles. 8.
Wow,
crazy
I just went
nights.
full Herm. Wow.
8 crazy nights.
8 crazy nights. But seriously, it's just sad that there wasn't a group of people to help them.
It's unfortunate
Very unfortunate.
they couldn't have figured that out earlier. Unfucking believable.
For real.
So,
it's like
all
trying
right.
to go to Alabama and not if you're in Alabama and you're not sure how to date your sister, there's somebody there that can help you out with that. There's I'm sure that both people, either people on either side of you, can help you out with that dilemma.
Our man Cletus could take care of that in a minute. Hey, you want to meet my sister wife?
For real.
Uncle Daddy.
All right, Lynch, what do you got? What do you got for young blood here? Come on now.
I'll be right back. Okay, I gotta use the bathroom.
Oh,
the
gotta
minute
use the
we want to ask
bathroom.
you a question, he's got to pee himself.
You want to ask me a question?
No, go ahead.
No.
Do your thing.
Yeah. Go.
I
go
say
to
you
the
should
bathroom.
I think you should take the phone to the bathroom. I'm just.
That I've done it. Back when I used to do it with earbuds on the Speedway review, I'd go upstairs and be pissing. They'd be like, "What the hell is that noise?" Shut up! I'm pissing.
Shut up! I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I just don't mute the microphone. If this is the show, you're getting the whole show. Dude, the kid, look, before he comes back, and I don't want to blow smoke up his ass, I'm sure he can still hear us. He muted his microphone. Dude's got his head on right. I like that. I love that.
He does. He definitely does.
And he needs to hurry up, because as soon as he said he had to pee, now I've got to pee.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, it's a chain. And then Lynch is going to have to pee.
Excellent. And I'm just going to pee right here at the.
Well, you're also.
I'm not even going to leave the desk.
No, you're part camel, and you probably have a gallon jug underneath you. What the fuck?
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
Wow. No, I believe that Herm would piss right under the desk.
Oh, I have no doubt that he would. Gotta go. You gotta go. Just saying.
For real.
Oh, look, he's got his gimmick ice right there.
Sparkling ice. I was addicted to those 2 summers ago.
And that's why you went to rehab. Nice job, Herm.
Yeah.
Or Lynch, or whoever the fuck you are. The gray beard. Wait, that's all of us.
That's all of us.
You with the head.
Hey, you with the gray beard. Oh, shit. That's everybody. All right.
You who just passed the 50-yard
What
line.
are you drinking there? What kind of
Ice.
What kind of
Blood
new
orange-
age
Blood orange, guava, pomegranate, cherry,
butt orange guava?
It's black
watermelon,
raspberry.
cherry. What is it? Blackberry? You are so basic.
Butt
Black
orange.
raspberry.
Oh, black. That's racist. They prefer African American raspberry.
That's right. They're now Negro raspberries.
You can't say that.
We can say what we want.
I can
It's
say
our
anything I
show.
want to. It's my show. Hey.
Wow, he took full ownership. You give a white man this much, and he takes all of it. You can see it right here. This is systemic racism right above me.
Oh,
Yeah,
I hate that
okay.
it's inverted.
Yeah,
You can
It's
you can
easy
do
for
that.
me.
Watch. You go
See,
into
there's
settings.
There's BL, and there's Herm.
Yeah,
like
see,
the
but
Brady Bunch,
it's
different.
because that's because you can go into your screen and invert it so that it doesn't. So now when I point right, Brenton, like I'm pointing to the right-hand side, it points to the right on the screen.
So I do that.
That's why mine looks that way, as I
just
inverted
know-
it.
I just know what I'm doing. So if he played the Brady Bunch music, I go dun 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 dun. Here's Lynch, and then there's Brenton, and if I look up, there's Herm, fat as fuck, and we got the whole song written down. It's all good.
Oh wait, there we go. I did it.
Yay! Well, kinda. To you,
See?
it looks good.
It'll just look opposite.
To you. Oh, he's worried about being offset. Lynch, throw this kid some questions so I can go to the bathroom.
Oh. So,
Dynamite dropping. You're not the best co-host in the business for nothing.
shut up. So another topic, probably not covered, is the gun issue.
Ooh, I'll be right
You know-
back. I gotta hear this.
You don't see many of those shootings happening at organized religion schools.
Not at schools.
No,
No.
not
Do you guys,
not.
you guys talk about that at all?
Nope. We don't even have a police officer or anything at our school.
Wow.
No, but like when things like that happen in the news, do you guys discuss them and talk about them, current events or anything at school?
We don't have current events at this school. We had them last year.
Oh.
We don't have any.
So
of
the
that.
religious
We're
school
very-
doesn't care if you know what's going on in the world. They just want to know that you know the Bible.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I guess we don't
See.
really talk about it. I mean, it's brought up in personal, like student conversations, but we don't have a class for it.
Right?
So, like-
Nobody's actually discussed it in like a social studies class or.
We don't talk about issues now. Like, I guess there has not, like, really, like, there hasn't. I know I'm wrong, but like, there hasn't been a huge issue recently.
Uh huh.
nothing like George Floyd status, which I'm sure we would talk about.
Right.
I would
But
hope.
right. But it's talked about just not like in a structured school setting. It's talked about
Right.
around the
Personally and
halls or
individually.
I'm there a half hour before school starts or before my school starts. My school starts additionally 45 minutes before everyone else's.
Right.
So I'm there before my 45 minutes, half hour before sometimes, or 20 minutes before my 45 minutes. And we talk about whatever is going on. We talk about what's happening in our lives, in the real world. Like, there's just a lot of conversation. I feel like that's what they talk about when they talk about the brotherhood at my school. It's just like you're connecting with the brothers.
It's kind of
And I
ass
did air
backward.
quotes because most of them are fake.
I come back right when he says you're connecting with the brothers, and we're talking about gun control. This shit went racist quick. He is a herm. Fill me in. What did I miss? Cliff
Oh,
notes.
We didn't even
shit.
talk about. They talked about if we talked about that in Catholic school.
He asked
And I
if
said no.
Lynch said there isn't a lot of shootings at organized religious schools for the most part, and I feel like if there are, they're usually they're not at the Catholic schools.
No.
I feel like they're at I feel like when there is stuff like
Most
that, it's
Catholics
at
are
a
white.
well, yes, so are Jews, but
Here we go again.
no, I'm just saying, like, if things go on, that, it seems like that's usually where you would get an organized religion issue at a school would be
Jewish
more towards
schools or
a
Muslim
Jewish
schools.
school, a Muslim school, some of your fringe, well, what white Anglo-Saxons would consider fringe religions. As we know, the Jews and the Muslims make up quite a large a group of people by number.
Yeah, they're like 60% of the religious people in the world.
On the planet, not
Yeah.
the country, on the planet.
Yeah.
So
It reminds me of that line from Superbad where he gets the fake ID and it says McLovin. He says, well, my other choice was Muhammad. He goes, why didn't you choose Muhammad? He goes, I could have chosen Muhammad. It's like the most popular first name on earth. Read a book. I'm like, I had to do some digging. Yes, it actually
is actually given it's but yes.
Really? That'd be crazy. I thought it would be something like Michael.
Oh,
No.
your whiteness is showing.
Yeah, right? Show me your privilege without showing me your privilege. Okay. Now we got a topic. White privilege. Real or myth, Brenton? While you're drinking Negro raspberry gimmick schnibbits.
Ooh.
It's a
Racist.
myth.
I agree, and I want to hear why you think so.
Wait, what do you have?
Did anybody notice that Lynch has a cock on his chest?
He does.
The other side, dumbass. There you go. He's also got a cock on his arm, which is a
That's my
birth
cock.
defect. Okay. Tell me why you think white privilege doesn't exist.
I don't know. It doesn't exist like white privilege. Like obviously, there's white privilege is a thing, but there's also black privilege.
Did you say
and
you
there's
go to
Indian
school with a
privilege.
bunch of just white privileged people pretty much a few minutes ago?
Of course, I go to, but of course, but
Of course.
there's black privileged kids in there too. Obviously, white privilege, yes, it's a thing, but it's not like it's not like what it's perceived to be because there's black privilege and there's Indian privilege at my school too.
Or is there
It just so happens
there-
that white people create the
or
most
is
of the
it is
population.
it that it's black privilege or is it privileged blacks?
Valid question.
Well, then why isn't it just privileged white people?
Well, but
What? Go
well,
ahead,
white
Herm,
well,
please.
well, white privilege is a term for a way of thinking that
That all whites are privileged.
that whites in general have it easier than any other race.
Well-
So basically, what it comes down to is because we've had some money, we're evil.
Maybe because we've been
Um,
the most financial financially.
Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of money was made by white people from slavery. I'm not denying that at all. I'm not
Well,
that there
how are we
is.
gonna help
There's
that?
that. Well, exactly. There isn't much we can do about it. So there. I mean, as far as the money is concerned, and nobody's given the money back. I mean, it's more along the lines of trying to change behaviors going forward than it really is
Right.
about money. But
And,
yeah,
and his,
white privilege is the thing. You know, it's just it's a way to outline and frame a way of thinking that some people think that makes them better than others, what just because of the color of their skin.
if you want to look at
Right.
things objectively, and not a lot of people do, it's unfortunate. Our country, as terrible and systemically racist as people claim it to be, from our inception, we were the quickest to abolish slavery worldwide. From our founding in 1776
Yeah,
to
we
the
were like
Emancipation Proclamation,
we were one of the
in-
last to adopt the policy and the first to get rid of it.
dude, there are still countries today that employ slavery. However,
And I don't want to hear it's a white thing.
we
That
were
was never a white
quicker.
thing.
Exactly. We were quick. It was the okay. See, Lynch just took us down the dark road. I got to go down the dark road. No racism in that comment. It was black folk selling black folk to the Europeans to come here.
Thank you.
However, from 1776, from the founding of our country to the Emancipation Proclamation in 1865, we were the country quickest, historically speaking, by year to abolish slavery and to attempt, and yes, it took quite a long time for everything to pan out equal. We were the quickest. There were countries that had slavery for thousands of years. There were Native American tribes. Whether these people want to sell you the story of we were mostly peaceful, we never hurt anybody else, yet you were warring over land and whatever the fuck. I read
And there
the
are still
books.
places that, like you said, there are places that still like have slavery going on, but some black people in the U.S. still want to say that slavery is happening in the U.S.
It's over. There's nothing to
Well,
talk
people
about
say-
anymore.
Right. That's what I think. But there's blacks who think that slavery is still going on today in the United States.
And another thing, as long as we're here, we've talked about it on the show before, but I'm going to run it by you. Is it just disingenuous to call every person of that color African American when they could be Jamaican or from
Haitian?
Trinidad or from
Haiti?
Haiti? Not every black
Right.
person is rooted in Africa. Knock it the fuck off.
Well, not every white person is from America.
Yeah, but
Not
we
every
don't
white
call
person
white
owns
we don't
slaves.
but we don't call white people something specific. We're just white, and that's
Mhm.
perfectly okay regardless of whatever. So
Yes.
so the whole
Yeah,
person.
but I have a black. Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
But I have a black friend, and he constantly refers
one?
to white people as white people. He's like, "Oh, what do you white folks do?" Like, white folks. Like, what if I called you black folks? I said that to him. I said,
What
if I called you
see
black
that's
folks?
why I can't have black friends, because like somebody's like that, like, you know, what do white folks do? Well, our dads hang around and we pay our bills.
Well,
I'm
I
dead.
was like, he said that. He said that to me. He said, what do you got? We were talking about people's hair and how white people have a flow in the back of their hair. And he was saying, oh, what do you white folks call it? Oh, your flow. And I said, well, what would I say to you? What do you black folks call it? Nappy?
Your fro.
Like,
FRO. There's a flow and then there's a fro.
And then there's the fro, you know, it's just the R or L.
Oh, wow.
like, I don't
It's
know.
kind of like talking
but
to a
he
Chinese guy.
But he would call me racist for saying black folks, but it's not racist for him to say white folks.
No, because the rules have changed, unfortunately, Brenton. And what happens is, much like what happened with the
That's
gentleman
why I like to use the term "you people."
Yeah, it covers everybody, including Canadians. The guy who wrote Dilbert he read a study, and he commented out loud, and he said,
Yeah,
you know, if 60% of Black Americans think that it's not that white people are not okay, and it's not okay to be white, If it were me, I'd move. I'd move away because that's a hate group and I don't want to be a part of it. But you know what they said? Oh my God, he made a racist comment. No, he didn't. He made an observation based on the intelligence that was gathered and put into this article. He commented on it. And now Dilbert's been pulled from every fucking newspaper in America.
Yeah, I mean, well, that again, that's your cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
That nobody that again, it's that zero tolerance policy, which to me is basically a blanket policy, and I have firm beliefs on what blanket policies on anything can do.
Exactly.
I feel blanket policies relieve anybody from having to make a hard decision.
Watch Lynch's face. Lynch, policy 27.
Man.
Oh, Herm, you know about policy 27. It covers everything except scratching your ass.
Except scratching your ass.
That's policy 26.5.
Policy 27 is I called that you're fucked policy.
Yeah, you've done something that we can't nail down, so we're going to put it under policy 27.
Right.
We can't prove it.
No,
We can cancel you anyway because we can.
Right.
I got
You're at will.
When I took this job 5 years ago, about a year in, I was trying to teach somebody how to enter something in the computer. I'd been working at it for 3 weeks. I told anyone who would listen, this person is not qualified to do this job. Nope, you got to teach him. No, I can teach anybody anything, not this guy. So at one point, I'm like, okay, let's try this one last time. So as I'm doing it, and he keeps fucking it up, I just looked at him and I said, are you fucking retarded? Seriously, are you fucking retarded? And I got called in to the main office
Of course.
down there in Norwich, and they said, did you really call so-and-so retarded? I said,
No,
absolutely.
no,
I said,
no.
he's going to answer my...
I
Yep.
asked if he was retarded and expected him to say no.
Exactly. I said, I didn't call him retarded. I asked, and I quote, are you fucking retarded? I never, ever called that person retarded. Nor would I, because I saved that for my friends, like Herm and Lynch and a couple of others. Like, dude, you're retarded. But I don't say that in the general public sense. But this guy, I asked the question, are you fucking retarded? You can't, 3 weeks, you can't pick this up. This is basic shit. This is data entry 101. And you're fucking it up. But that's on that list of words you can't say that. Fuck that. I know.
Yeah, they said that at my school last year. They had a banner in the cafeteria and you signed your name to stop saying the R word, and I didn't sign.
Good. Because you know why? Because I know your dad. And every
That
now and
banner's
again, you gotta look
retarded.
you got to look at your dad and go, Dad, you're fucking retarded.
Yeah.
And look, there's this wonderful guy that works for our company who happens to be mentally challenged. I love him to death. He's one of the
Usually
coolest
the
people
smartest
I know.
people.
Huh?
Some of the smartest people I know are mentally
Oh,
challenged.
absolutely. Nate can rattle off stupid. No, I say stupid things. People say that about me. If you sit and watch a game show with me, I'm an idiot savant. I will answer everything. But when I was in front of a school test, I was a monkey doing a math problem. I couldn't do it. But I can sit watching Jeopardy, and Lynch has been there, sitting at his house back in
You get the
Warregan.
word after one letter.
Yeah. And they'd be halfway. Trebek would be halfway through reading the gimmick. I'd be like, Burma, James K. Polk, the Strait of
Nuclear
Magellan.
dynamics.
Yeah, the Strait of Magellan, nuclear physicist, Nobel Prize, 1921. He's like, how do you know this stuff? I don't know.
Uranus.
Yeah, well, I know that.
Very well.
But yeah, I'm glad you didn't sign that. It's just, people are so, and I
Well,
can
that's
say it in
taking
front
away
of
like that. I could say that's taking away my freedom of speech.
you could. However, freedom of speech doesn't cover, Okay, we're gonna cross a real tight
I
boundary
was
here.
just gonna say this one's real slippery.
Yeah, this is that slippery slope.
It
doesn't
protects your ability to
necessarily-
say it. It doesn't protect the repercussions if you
exactly. That's where I
Consequences.
was going.
That's what
Because
everyone has been telling me.
a KKK guy could march down the street with a flag that says "I hate N-words," and he's well within his rights to do so. It doesn't make it right, but he's well within his rights to do so. That doesn't mean if he gets beaten up by 12 brothers that, well, I have freedom of speech. You also got the freedom to get your ass whooped.
do. Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And I think what people see today, and I see it more, and again, Herm might argue with me from the far left than I do anywhere else, is that the people, they call people Nazis, but they're the ones controlling words and controlling minds. And they will cancel you at a moment's notice. It reminds me of a guy, had a little mustache, really bad haircut like Alan Alda. What was his name? Oh, yeah, Hitler.
Hitler.
But you call everybody else basically Hitler when it is them that are doing the suppressing.
Well, you have freedom of speech as
Yeah.
long as it's their speech.
Oh, yeah. Does
Yeah.
you? Oh,
You can have an opinion, but it better be their opinion.
yeah, it better be
Otherwise-
ours.
Otherwise, extremist or phobic or whatever.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What was it?
fuck
Herm
you, I
brought
got
it up earlier. Herm brought it up earlier. You know, I don't care if you want to wear a dress and call yourself Sally, but I'm not going down the Zem Za, or Breton when two of the people identify as cats. You're not a fucking cat. Knock it off. When I can see it climb a tree in 3.5 seconds, I'll buy it. You're not a fucking cat. No more than I'm a Tomahawk helicopter. I could say to you all day long, I'm the president of the United States. The only problem with that is one, I'm not the president of the United States, and two, my IQ's higher than the current president of the United States. So just because you think it doesn't mean it is.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, you can't take, and Brent, I want to hear your comment on this when I'm done. You can't take thousands, if not millions of years of science and flush it away because this is the hot trend going today.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Well,
I'd have to agree with that.
it's like the gotcha police. We always hear some 20-something say, well, I can't believe I would never have let that happen back in 1862.
Yes, you would have. It was normal shit.
It was
Well,
called a
wouldn't have thought
societal norm.
You wouldn't have thought anything different of it.
Right,
Here's
because
the deal.
I'm sorry that you think that the actions somebody committed 200 years ago are wrong. You know what? You are right. What happened probably should not have happened.
Doesn't change the good things that they
But
did.
it doesn't change the fact that it happened. History is history for a reason. It's
Mhm.
It's his story to tell. Don't rewrite it. Because
It's like
you know
I
what?
say,
That's why I
had
sent that. That's why I sent that
Please,
thing out
please.
there in Messenger about the censoring of James Bond and censoring. They're
Mm.
going back. They're going back in
Oh,
in literature now and removing offensive material. Well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Mark Twain would have one book
right?
because N-word this, N-word that.
And we're
Even-
Jim.
And the Jim, his entire main character is called Nigger Jim.
Right.
It
Look,
happened.
Yeah.
You
The
can't.
way
I'm glad that's one thing that we don't do at our school. We don't take away things like that. Like we read a book and it was riddled with the N-word.
Oh yeah, and the one thing I always tell, and I find it, no offense, Brenton, it's not you. I know this because you're smart and you're sitting here with us, and we're all retards. But one thing I say is you cannot judge what somebody did in the 1300s through 2023 eyes, because what was socially acceptable then is not socially acceptable now. Real progress is what you see in front of you, not when you go back and nitpick what happened behind you.
You're changing
So-
the narrative. You're changing the narrative to suit your delicate sensibilities.
Right now,
Sorry.
I'm not the biggest fan of Christopher Columbus. I've read the diaries from his ship. Dude was a prick.
He's an asshole.
However,
But I'm not gonna finish.
Bingo. No, you're not going to diss what he did. The good things in this case, I don't know if they far outweigh the bad things, but at the end of the day, you have to put perspective onto it. We can look, and the three of us have talked about it. We could sit right now and go to YouTube and watch all 6 seasons of All in the Family and laugh our asses off at the racist jerk that was Archie Bunker, but it was funny.
Yes.
Here's a guy who didn't believe in those things, but you're playing a role.
And
And
we all knew
we
him.
learned from it. Yes. And we learned from it. Conversely, the spinoff from that show, The Jeffersons, was the antithesis to Archie Bunker, who was the racist white guy. There's George Jefferson, the racist black guy who
Right.
called his
Right.
neighbor honky at every freaking turn. Progression isn't do things our way or we're going to cancel you. Progression is learning from your mistakes. And if we can learn from the mistakes our forefathers and foregrandfathers or whatever the fuck did in 1400, 1300, hell, in 1965, we're a better society for it. The problem I have, and Brenton, you could speak to this, being a young person, going to school, whether or not all your friends go to the same school, the issue is everybody wants to, and it's mostly 15 to 30 white people who like to point out this bullshit and say, this is racist and that racist and this is unacceptable. And how could you? Fuck off with that bullshit. What's your thought?
Like, my thought on what exactly, like, there's a lot.
Well, let's start at the beginning. I wasn't going to say,
Well, I just need
where
a
would you like
question.
me to
Just
start?
ask your question.
Is it fair to judge someone from, say, 1500 through 2023 eyes?
No,
Why not?
because, well, obviously it was a different time period with different things accepted, but what if the people from 1825 were judging the people from nowadays?
Oh yeah. Oh, great point. Wow. Look
Like
at him
they
go.
like what would they think? What if the tables were turned? Like what would they think about us so long ago?
I
Like
can
that
I
kids
can
were, like,
answer that
leaving litter
question.
boxes. Like, oh my
Mhm.
God, they would be mortified.
That's just stupid. I can answer that question in one note. There are things that your dad and I have said to each other over the years in the 80s and 90s that, yeah, we'd still say today, but of course it's going to be within the privacy of the four walls.
Right.
That we wouldn't say it like Stop and Shop or at a ball game. I don't know how many times over the years your dad and I have called each other fag.
Yeah.
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 Take your skirt off, Herm. What are you afraid of?
Fag.
Right? Lynch, same thing. We went to a Motley Crue concert years ago, and one of our friends got exceedingly drunk. And the first thing we told him, have one last shot before we go in. Oh, I can't do it. I'm going to puke. Take your skirt off, bitch. That was 20
Yeah.
years ago.
hmm
There are certain things that you could do that you can't do now. I get it. That's how the
Or
world
you could be the
progresses.
person that doesn't give a damn
None of us do,
and still-
really.
and still say, I mean, there's kids at my school that say that.
Is what it is. Now you can't say that because you're afraid that under that skirt will be a dick.
Right.
hmm
I know we're creeping close on time. Lynch, are you still active or are you frozen?
Wait, what's your time limit?
I'm gonna say he's frozen.
I'm gonna say he's frozen.
I'm gonna say he's frozen.
Let it go. But that's the best he's looked frozen in a long time.
It is. He looks really good.
He
I'm
looks
just saying,
scholarly.
He looks really good.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he could win the Nobel Prize for something.
Something. For something.
All right, I got one question, and your dad's gonna plotz when I ask.
Here he comes.
You know what the question is, Brenton?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, you.
Uh-huh.
What is a woman?
Someone with XX chromosomes.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
That's an acceptable answer.
I'll take that answer. That's an acceptable answer.
Yep. That's on my list. XX chromosomes, adult human female, can lactate and
The
give
female
birth.
the female genitalia.
Now, the whole gender is a social construct thing. I'm not going to tell you to look it up, but if somebody tells you to look it up, ask them to find where that came from. And it's two names, John Money and Albert Kinsey, and then find out a little bit about them, and then tell your friends to suck it, and then give them my number so I can tell them to kiss my ass.
Ooh, very nice.
Thank you.
All right.
Very nice. That's very
Worked
nice.
hard on that. We got to have Lynch back because, Herm, you got the close tonight, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's wait a couple minutes for Lynch. We can drag this out just a little bit more.
We can.
What's
As
your
a young
time usually?
person-
An hour and a half.
Hour and a
Yeah,
half.
about an hour and a
give or
half. Sometimes maybe a little more, but yeah, about an hour and a half.
Okay.
I still got time to make the packy. No big deal. As a young person, what do you think right now is the biggest social issue that people your age have to face? Chewing your nails isn't going to give me an answer. Come on now. You're better
I
than
don't know.
this.
There's a lot.
Okay. I mean,
what's a big one for you?
yeah, what's yours that you look at and go, what the fuck am I doing? Or what the fuck are
Like-
people my age thinking?
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know. I really don't let them bother me.
Okay.
Fuck
It's
them other
usually just
people.
like,
Yeah, fuck
yeah,
them
it's
all.
usually just like they don't matter. Like,
You're like me.
I don't
If they
know.
don't feed me, fuck me, or finance me, you're not important.
all right.
Pretty much.
Except Herm. He's not allowed to fuck me.
No.
No, not this week.
Nope.
That-
not anymore.
That
Nope.
was once, and it was Valentine's Day, and I was
just that
drunk.
one time.
Leave me
it was
alone.
that one time in college, and I was drunk.
Well, he feeds me, so
All right, I
I
got a
gotta
dumb
see how
question.
stuff I need now.
Have you ever, you and your friends, just bullshitted and told, like, they call them fish stories, a whopper? You just made shit up just to entertain your friends.
me.
Yeah,
Whopper. Could go for
yeah.
Oh.
Oh, now he's hungry. Jesus
Now he's
Christ.
hungry. Here we go.
No, I don't think so. I think I can remember one time I've done that, but it was kind of dickish of me to do it to someone.
Tell us.
The kid was like not mentally challenged. He was like just stupid, and I started
a Herm
spewing
thing.
random shit, and I just started spewing random shit, and he was like, "Oh my god, yeah, I love that show." Da, 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 da. And I just kept going with it.
The best thing you can have in life, Brenton, and I'm going to share this with you now. If you've never heard this, this is going to be a highlight for you. Is when you start a fish story, and without saying a damn word, your friend puts bigger shit on top of the fish story. Here's an
Oh, he did.
example. Here's an example. Hey, Herm,
Yo.
remember that time I won the powerlifting championship in Japan in 1972?
Clean and jerk.
I believe it was. Yeah.
Nice. Yes, I remember that. You pulled the deltoid on that one.
I did, and I remember during the snatch, I got the bar up, but then that was when the deltoid got injured.
Yeah, you had the little wobble there. It was
Yep.
rough.
Yeah, but later on, I mean, I was so close to medaling, I finished fourth, unfortunately.
Yep.
But the caber toss was seriously the event I excelled at.
Excellent distance on that.
Yes.
Excellent distance. Yes, sir. It was great.
Your dad and
That's
I have
great
told
shit.
stories like this all of our freaking lives, and people look at us and go, "Really?
Wait, what
No,
do you call
asshole.
that
We're
stuff?
fish stories."
Fish stories.
Yeah,
You ever,
fish
you ever know
tails.
you ever know someone to go fishing and they catch a fish that's 3 inches long, and by the time you get the actual story, that fish
It was
is
it's 40 pounds, and it was
yeah, it's a bull shark.
3.5 feet long, and yeah.
You know, you hit a deer with a
They caught
car.
Jaws.
Yeah, you hit a deer with a car, and all of a sudden you're fighting it off with a stick, and you got the antlers on your wall.
I don't know. Maybe next week, maybe this week, I've got to like have a fish story with somebody in front of somebody else.
But
There
you have
go.
to have a friend that is just as ignorant as you. And I don't say that to be rude. If you're ignorant, That means you're funny.
Yeah, they just got to throw some shit in there to make it even crazier, and because somebody else is backing you up, people believe that shit.
Oh yeah, like the time your dad won the Winston Cup championship back in 1992. You remember
That's
that?
right. That's right. That was right.
You found the 212 car. I remember that. Your car was blue and orange, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, it was.
Yeah, see that?
Oh man,
When we were professional wrestlers in Japan.
that's right.
It's always Japan.
Thumbtack matches.
That's right.
Oh goodness.
Oh,
All right.
Breton, you've
It's
been
official.
fun. Thank you.
It's official.
What-
Tom's what?
Tom, what?
It's official. Tom Sizemore is brain dead. They're gonna pull the
No
plug.
shit.
Really? They're gonna pull it? Wow.
I saw that earlier today, and I you remember Josh, right? Josh Gillette.
Yeah, Josh Gillette.
When we used to do the death game, and I had Tom Sizemore on my list in 2006. It took that bitch 15, 16 extra years. He was on his way out
He was being well
then.
preserved.
Wow.
He pickled himself well with cocaine.
Yeah, no shit.
For real.
We should be so lucky. That means Lynch is gonna die first because he's sober.
That's right.
We'll have a memorial show to you.
That's right. There it is.
Hey, but you know what? I think we have if Lynch, God rest him, not that you're dead, but if Lynch ever goes, I think we've got our co-host right up here.
Yeah, that could be arranged. We can make that happen. Yep.
Dysfunction Junction featuring
That's right.
the Pimpmaster of Alabama Avenue.
That's right.
Low harm.
Woo, woo.
That's right.
Little Herm. I love it.
Little Herm.
You have one job to do, Brenton, and one job only. You have to tell all your friends, get them to watch this particular show. We'll have you back soon.
Okay.
You'd be great with questions from the hat. You'd be great with Am I the Asshole? Hell, how old are you, kid? 15, 16?
14.
Fuck you. You'd be great with 1-star strip club reviews.
He'd be all right. You'd be all right. You'd be okay with those two.
Especially if it was your 9th birthday and you had the best time, you would recommend it for kids.
Great steak with grandma.
I didn't tell anyone about that I was going to be on here yesterday. I totally forgot.
Well, that's a
I do have a
mistake.
teacher from last year who watches.
Well,
Yeah,
as
he
soon
did get one of last year's teachers hooked on our show. So
I remember that.
Yeah. You
told me.
He looks just like you.
Me?
Dad. He looks just like my dad.
Oh, God bless that man. He's got problems.
good
Yeah,
luck.
but-
Yeah,
Twin
he looks
Herm.
just like him. You totally reminded me of him.
Lynch,
All
you
right.
got anything you want to do next week, or are we just going to keep spewing bullshit out of our faces?
I don't know. I've been thinking about topics and I'm coming up dry.
That's what your
I don't
wife
know.
said.
Retard.
Oh, see, here we go again.
Here we go.
Oh.
All right.
All right, you know what? If push comes to shove, I don't know. How long's it been, Herm? A month?
Yeah.
Since
From
we-
what? Questions from the hat?
Since we went to the hat.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been 3-4 weeks, maybe.
All right. Let's just settle it now. We go to the hat next week.
All right.
And I'll try to
The hat.
dig up a 4th person.
All right.
If not, Breton, if you're free next week, you can certainly join. We can have multiple people. We had 5 last week, and people loved it. Thank you again to Amber and Tom. Tom, yes. I gotta make sure they're twins, Tim and Tom.
Yes.
It's hard to figure
Just
out.
let me know.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, my man. Absolutely.
Even if it's not
But you don't
submitted,
get
I mean, I'm
your
always
first
home by-
your first time. You don't get to ask any questions. You just answer.
Right.
Those are the rules. I wrote them.
Okay.
So there you go.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Figure
So we're
about-
going to the.
There is
I'm
no
sorry,
Fight
Lynch.
Club.
Yeah, it's a lot like Fight Club.
Yeah.
Except we're not going to hit you in your pretty face.
Jesus.
If I
What's
had a
wrong with
tumor,
you, Herm?
It's a lot like
hit
Fight
Marla.
Club, but you know.
Fucking Lynch.
Bob and his
Oh.
bitch tits.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
They
The
messed
natives
with
are
my
re-
boy.
The The natives are restless. I hear the drums in the background.
Holy
Guys,
shit.
Don't forget, junctiondysfunctionshow@gmail.com. If you have comments, questions, concerns, write in. You have show ideas, write in. Also, wherever you're listening, leave a 5-star review. It certainly helps. And of course, Brenton, tell your fucking friends where to find us. We want more of you. And look, we didn't have a whole lot of people in the comments this week, so guess what? Brenton, you're the MVP.
Woo! All right.
Say goodbye, Brenton.
Bye, Brenton.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for
All
watching.
See you
right.
next week.
Next week.
Sleep soundly in your beds tonight. Judgment falls upon you at first light. I'm the hand of God. I'm the dark Messiah. I'm the vengeful blood. In the blackest moments of a dying world, what have you
Lynch, does this penis look normal to you?